Welcome to MOGULTalk, where wealth and lifestyle converge. We are mindset media dealing with business, social relevance, abundance, lifestyle, and spirituality. This is your time. This is your moment. And this is your host, Ms. Mogul, Charity Smith.
Wonderful. A little bit of technical difficulties there, but hello, everybody. It's Charity Smith, Ms. Mogul. Welcome to our audiences literally here in the U.S. and around the world. I am excited to launch this very special series. Many of you may be thinking about Thanksgiving coming up in the next month. And so with that thought in mind, I personally believe that Thanksgiving is a mindset. It's not just one day, but it's how we live our lives. But because most of you are probably really focused on it now, I wanted to do a series where I talk to leaders about how they use the attitude and the weapon and the skill set, if you will, of thankfulness. And I could not think of a better time than now to reconnect with a very dear friend of mine and a very special leader. I want to introduce her to you now. Today we have in the studio Ms. Connie Benjamin, a dear friend of mine. Let me tell you a little bit about Connie. Connie is an international best-selling author and speaker. She has partnered with Dame Marcia Martin, the Godmother of Transformation, to empower entrepreneurs who feel like they are unintentionally the best kept secret. Everybody raise your hand if you feel like that. Been there, done that. Connie specializes in helping us cut through all of the noise online to powerfully convey our message to the world. You really, come on, get your latte, get your laptop. It's time to go to school now and hear the thought processes of a very special leader, the one and the only Connie Benjamin. I can tell I'm already excited, Connie.
What an incredible introduction. Charity, thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you.
Listen, for those who don't know, we connected maybe a year ago now, and it was such a special connection. And I can't remember who introduced us now. My mind is drawing blank. So when you all watch this, please forgive me. Was it
Maria Simone?
Yes!
Yes.
How can I forget? Maria, I love you, my dear. She's goes to my heart. I'm so sorry. But we had this very special, organic, heart-to-heart connection when we first met. And we knew from then on, whether we talked every day, every week, or once a year, we would be connected. We kind of knew that going in. And so I said, God, it's time for me to reconnect with Connie. I need a good heart pump. It's time for my heart to get its feeling, So let me contact Connie. Connie, thank you again. Again, I could just gush all day about what a special person you are. But I don't want to neglect to convey to the audience really how skilled you are in coaching and in leadership development. You've coached and you've talked to some of the best around the world. In your own right? You've helped so many leaders transform their businesses, their processes, their mindsets to go from stagnation to quantum leaps in production. I think now is a time to talk about thankfulness from your vantage point for a couple of reasons. We're in this environment now, Connie, where I feel like we've been shoved in this funnel, right? Where we were used to doing business face to face and cultivating relationships and having the personal touch. Within the last year and so, we've kind of been shoved into this funnel where now we're in this virtual world and we have to figure it out. We have to figure out not only our messaging now, not only our branding, but how do we keep our customers close? How do we continue to nurture the relationships with our clients and stakeholders? How do we keep our employees and our contractors connected and feeling appreciated? All sometimes without the benefit of touch, without the benefit of face-to-face connection. How have you, in your transformative work, helped leaders to now kind of move out of this mindset of, oh my God, and shock and awe, and what do I do now, into now embracing where we are and leveraging where we are to move into a successful direction?
Well, Charity, that is such a powerful question that you're asking, because I absolutely agree. I think that the last, couple years have been a really shaking up for entrepreneurs and encouraging and almost kind of pushing us off into the online space.
Oh, not kind of. We got the shove.
Anyone else feel like you got shoved off a cliff there? Yeah, me too. And so I think it is important that we talk about this. And one of the things that I've noticed in leaders, so I'm actually really obsessed with leaders that are true experts at what they do. And I am, because I know the difference between somebody that claims to be an expert at what they do and they're not, and somebody that genuinely has lived, embodied experience and is that expert. And I'm obsessed with helping those experts like you watching right now, and you, Charity, to get your message into the world. And I've noticed a couple things with I call them the greats, because they're people that are on a great mission, a mission that is divinely inspired, a mission that no matter what is going on in their life, they have to fulfill that mission. And Charity, I know you are a great leader. And so that's what I'm passionate about. And what I found was these people, we've kind of got two things going on in the online space. We've got people that are very, very skilled at online marketing. They know the funnels. They know all the things to do on online marketing, and they look so good. They look so polished. They've got everything in place to seem like they're the best. And yet they're not. They're somebody that's very, very good at online marketing, very, very good at flash, but they don't have the substance and they don't have the heart.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's crazy making. I was interviewing somebody a little while ago about kind of what's helpful in the online space. And she was talking about, Connie, I've done so many online programs. I've seen the flashy stuff, the ones that say I'd get so much from doing this course, and then my life doesn't change and I get no ROI. And I'm left feeling like it's my fault, another program that didn't work, another leader that doesn't care. And I can relate to her because I've been in that world. In fact, I've very much been experienced the burn of that. And so I don't know if you can relate to that. Can you relate to that, Charity?
Both hands up.
Yeah.
Okay. Both hands up. Yes.
Okay. So we've got that person that's in the online space, which is very crowded right now because of that. And then on the other hand, we've got these incredible experts that have been in live rooms for decades, that have been sharing wisdom forever, that received their knowledge from timeless, true principles, been tested in life and business and everywhere in between. And they weren't trained in online marketing. And so they've got all this knowledge, all this wisdom, all this experience that is tested and true. And they don't know how to bridge the gap and how to share it in the online space. And I think that's what really gets me up in the morning. And actually, that's what made me partner with Dame Marcia Martin, is because she is the Godmother of Transformation, like I talked about. I want to speak to the best. What I noticed, though, Charity, you asked in a little while ago, you said, like, what is kind of getting in our way and how can we share that message? Can I dive into some of that right now?
Please. Yes, we have a few minutes before the first break, so go all in.
Okay, I'm all in, lady. Okay, it's perfect. So one of the things that I notice in these experts that are what I call the greats is that there can be a hesitancy to just get out there. Because they've mastered the online presentation world and that space. Usually when you show up to an online they've mastered in person.
In person, yeah.
In person. So you show up to an online event, you've got the stage, you've got the mic, you got the makeup, you got the hair, you got the dress, like all those things. And for men, the suit, you're feeling fine. But in the online space, it's a lot more casual. And so we need to be, there needs to be a consistency of content that's required, and somebody that if we step into a place of feeling like it all has to be perfect, we can just get stuck and actually not get started. And Charity, I am obsessed with repurposing, because I know, and it actually gives me goosebumps when I say it.
And that's funny you would say that, because repurposing has kind of been looked down on, especially like with gift giving content. but it makes sense now to now repurpose it for and kind of make your content pivot, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's so possible because I'm working so closely with Marcia Martin. She, like, this lady's got vaults and boxes of, trainings from 4 decades. And I'm digging through the vaults and I'm digging through these incredible videos of like changing trainings she did for like Tony Robbins and different mentors she's mentored along the way. And what I've learned is that if we can get in our mindset of repurpose everything, then you've already got everything you need. So for example, for you, Charity, if I can go on a like geek out repurpose tangent right here, right now, is that cool?
You have 5 minutes before I go geek out.
Yeah. Okay. So in one podcast, you're producing content. Now I know you're a great. And so in this one podcast episode, you look at, or this one session, sorry, not necessarily a podcast, but a session that you're doing, we can take this, we can clip little pieces of it. So for example, when you're, let me give you another example.
Okay.
Because this is one thing that just lights me on fire when greats are doing this. Okay. So you do several interviews. And often what happens is when you do that interview, you get on the show, it's, half an hour, an hour, and then you're off the show and you promote it on social media, maybe once or twice, right? Sound familiar?
Sounds familiar.
Okay. So because I am obsessed with repurposing, this is what I would say to my great experts out there. You take that show, and obviously with the permission of the host, you take clips of it. What specific topics are you talking about that are subtopics? So for example, Charity, when you're on a show, I know you're going to cover at least 5 topics. Answers, if not more, probably 20. So direct answers to people's question. They might be thinking, how do I get into real estate? How do I build a purpose-driven mission business? All these questions that they have. And you take those questions, the short clips, and you can create YouTube videos from that. You can create 30-second social media clips from that for Instagram, that sort of thing. Right now on LinkedIn, they love video. Take a couple minutes clip of a video, put that on LinkedIn. And when you're answering someone's question, you're going to be the go-to resource. Now, because I warned you, I'm totally obsessed with repurposing. While you're doing it, transcribe it. So you can use otter.com. You can use lots of Temi, some people use. So transcribe that. Suddenly you've got a LinkedIn article you can post on LinkedIn. You've got a blog post you can use. Then you take that, you can put it on your website. Now you've got blogs on your website. You can take the video and the questions that you answer, put it on there. Now, I'm not done. You can take these clips. You can actually start to put them into some of the programs that you create as bonus content that you're doing on programs. You can take it, you can transcribe it, you can put it into an audio or into an ebook. So I tell you that because I think one of the things that stops people is they think I don't have time. Global leaders, you're doing a million things. You feel like you don't have time. Repurpose everything.
Okay. So let me tell you what a gift bag you are. Okay. And I say that because before we started the show, my prayer and my thought, my meditation was, let us be an answer to anybody who's watching. And for so many leaders, again, because if they're like me, they're content focused. And so we're thinking we're constantly having to reinvent the wheel. So we're constantly tapping into our creativity, our innovation, our mind space. And sometimes, even though you're creating excellent content, you can experience burnout because that takes a level of energy to produce stellar content, world-class content all the time when you're coming from ground zero.
Yes.
And so many leaders who may be watching this now are thinking, oh God, I don't have enough time, or I'm losing my creativity. Oh, I can hear it, Connie, before we even see the comments. I don't have enough creativity. I don't know if I can continue to do this. Where am I going to find my next inspiration? And what I'm hearing you say is take it and use what you have. And it's kind of like what we do in real estate. It's several streams of income from an idea.
Yes.
Several streams of income from an idea. Well, several avenues of content sharing, right? From one source. So you're constantly engaging your clients, you're constantly engaging your public, your audience, but you're also preserving your creative space so that you can go the long haul and not burn out. You didn't say that, Connie, in your presentation, but what you just delivered just gave multiple outcomes, right? To that leader who's looking. Listen, we have a lot to talk about. Stay right here. We're going to take our first commercial break, but I guess you can tell I'm inspired by what you've just shared. Listen, leaders, there is so much more to come. Stay right here. I'm going to have Connie right back in just a minute.
Are you ready to break out and break through? Wait no longer. Charity Smith, known as Ms. Mogul, has created a breakthrough course and mastermind called the Mogul Method for multidimensional leaders wanting to harness their creative power and release their next big idea, transforming their performances, culture, and leadership. A highly sought-after media personality, business and transformative leader, Ms. Mogul enraptures her audience, taking them on a journey of personal and performance discovery with laughter, candor, a biting wit, and over 20 years of business acumen and leadership. Go to www.youcancreateyourown.economy.com now to awaken the mogul in you.
And we are back. Before we went to break, I had a whole melt. I don't want to say a meltdown, but just this whole ice cream epiphany. This whole sugar rush of goodness with my friend Connie, because Connie, again, it's the nuts and the bolts of what you're providing, right? It's the acumen, it's the systems that you're providing, but those systems multiply their return and how now we're able to deliver quality on a consistent basis. And we're able to deliver quality on multiple platforms. And again, continue to keep our creative space. Just those strategies alone probably has given the lifespan of some leader exponential years more, because now they see how they can take what they thought was dusty old content. Oh, we can't use that. It's just one time and we're just going to repurposing is not good for anything. It's a paradigm shift. It's also about rethinking your content, rethinking how you disseminate your information to the world. That goes into our thankfulness, though. I want to talk to you about, because that, I guess you can tell that was so rich for me. But I want to also talk to you, Connie, about how you're transforming mindsets, not only from an acumen specific place, but to a perspective place. How are you helping leaders now transform where they are? Because now that we're adopting and we're adapting, right? We're adopting these new strategies and we're adapting to this new environment. That is a mainstay, by the way. This isn't going anywhere. So we have to really master it and become really proficient at it, which is why I so appreciate what you shared in the first half of the show. But now we're here. Leaders have said, okay, I adapt. How do I now change my attitude about it, right? Because we can do it like if you have children, they can do what you ask them to do, but how they do it and the manner in which they do it is also important. And I'm not calling leaders children, so don't send me those messages either, y'all. But I think people get the point, right? Yeah. It's not just about us delivering for our stakeholders and delivering for our brand and delivering for our employees and contractors, but it's how we feel about showing up for them as well. How have you helped leaders take that perspective and transform it now into one of gratitude for the long haul? How do we do that?
Well, that is such a beautiful question. And one of the things that I've done, so Charity, just to give you a bit of background, the timing of this conversation is very important. If you're a leader watching today and thinking, but everything's not going well for me, and how is this going to apply to my specific business? And I've been going through these hard times. Now you're talking about gratitude. I want you to know you're not alone. And that one of the things that I love most about you, Charity, is that you stand up and you show up no matter what's happening, and you're honest and you're real and you're an authentic leader. And so In fact, that's one of the reasons that I loved talking to you that first day that we had that conversation. So I've spent about 12 years or so in the personal development space. I've seen the ups and downs of the world. I've seen the really great things in terms of transformation, leadership, and the beautiful aspects of it. And I've also seen the underbelly of it, broken promises, betrayals, all of that. In fact, I recently had a very vivid experience in that. And so I know what it's like to feel like, in moments in my life when I felt like I was losing everything. There was a moment that I felt a betrayal, a partnership that fell through. And it really, truly felt like I was losing everything. I actually needed to pay and thousands and thousands of dollars to buy my own book back, and so many things that I went through. And in those moments, we don't feel grateful. Like, it's very challenging to feel grateful in those moments. But there's something that I've learned that has helped me to be able to get through those moments and find the cracks of gratitude and understand where those moments are leading. And so you asked in just a couple moments ago, how am I helping leaders to step into that, to be who they're meant to be the leaders in this point in history that we've never faced before, where we are facing some of the biggest challenges of our time? How do we authentically find gratitude, and how do we authentically be who we need to be to show up in that space?
Yes.
And one of the things that I've done to do that is I remember the day when I heard that the pandemic had hit, and my first instinct was find somebody that's done this before. Find somebody that's lived through something crazy like this before. And actually, that's what I've spent the last 2 years doing, is finding people that have been there, done that, maintained their integrity and their honesty and their ability to be the leaders that they're meant to be. And so
can I jump in for a second? Because again, go back to my description of you, treasure trove, right? And I think you're running past all this, and because it just comes out of you. I want the listeners, though, to really hear. You said something at the beginning. You find cracks of gratitude. That means you purposefully look for them. I don't care how minute they are. Even in a major betrayal, you find a crack of gratitude and you plant yourself there. And then you said something else that is so profound. I believe also in find somebody to mentor you in that space, right? Yes. Or if you're not going to mentor you, look at the pattern. You don't have to reinvent the wheel there. But somebody who has traversed difficult times successfully. What was their mindset? What was their social circle? What did they do to set up their businesses, right? All of that goes into this ecosystem of gratitude that we're talking about. So I just wanted to make sure those who will be taking notes during this show, remember, cracks of gratitude, hashtag that bad boy, cracks of gratitude, and then find someone who's done it before. You don't always have to have the answers. You just have to know how to go get the answers. Oh, that was good.
Yeah. I love that. Hashtag cracks of gratitude. So good.
Yes.
Yeah. So you find that person that's done that before. And actually, I need to say one more thing. You be clear about what you want.
Now, that's good.
Especially when there's so much chaos, there's confusion, we can feel pulled in a million directions. If we're clear about what we want and we can find somebody that's been there, done that, proven track record, and you check, man, you check proven track record. You check. Charity is amazing. You've been there, done that before. You work with people that have been there, done that before. And so that's what I did. That's actually one of the reasons that I decided to partner with Dame Marcia Martin, is because I knew she's taken leaders across the finish line. Fortune 1000 companies all over the last four decades. She's taken them across the finish line. Entrepreneurs, all of them, helping them to get the mindset. So when my world, Charity, was completely falling apart and I was worried I would lose everything, I went to her and I said, what the heck do I do? And she actually started with this mindset. And there's one piece of mindset that I'd like to share with you right now that was very pivotal in helping me to get through all of it, the challenges that I was going through. And that mindset was, what is so, Connie? So she asked me this, she said this statement to me that changed everything. She said, "This is so, now what?" So when I look at that, when I thought of that, what that meant to me was, this is how it is. You have a business partner, a business relationship that you were betrayed, and that's so. And that's okay. It just is. You made decisions going into that agreement. I take responsibility for that. And that person made decisions going into that. And that's their responsibility. It's just so. Now what? What do I want? What am I? And not only what do I want and get clear about that, but what am I willing to do to achieve that? And to keep that in mind. And I know it's so good, right? So
just going, yes.
So, and the last piece is that gratitude for what is so that I don't know yet. And I say that because in that moment when everything was falling apart and I was losing my business, that business I had at that time, I lost that business. I paid thousands of dollars just to buy my own book back. But there was gratitude in that moment. My family was safe. My kids were healthy. And I was on the brink of an opportunity of a lifetime. Yes. And if I had my eyes shut to revenge and to despair and to all the things that I could have fallen into, I wouldn't have had my eyes open enough to see the cracks of gratitude, right? Yes. And cracks of opportunity that led ahead of me.
So look, I'm going to just scream, but I'm going to reserve that for when I'm off the show. I want to go back to "it is so," because that realization really is empowering. Yes. And what I heard her say was, take your power back. Because yes. As long as we're operating in this happened and all of the, the back and the forth of it, we never get to a place now where we can declare some truths, right? And that truth was, this is so. That's the truth. And guess what we can do with truth? We can build on that. This happened. This is what this is. So this is either, I believe it was Nelson Mandela who says he never loses, he always learns. Woo! So it's that thing. It's not that I lost. It's that I learned a valuable lesson about myself. First of all, about who to go into business with, to trust, but to always verify. Yes. Trust, but verify. And then I heard you say, and verify some more. And verify some more. But even after that, the "it is so" part is, okay, this has happened. And I write about this too in The Roar of a Woman. I watched, and I think about this when you're talking about this in my book, where I had watched Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It? And she goes to court with her then former husband, and she comes out with absolutely nothing I can identify but her name. And she says, essentially, this is so. This has happened. Everything is gone. But as long as I have my name, I can take it from here. And what I heard you say, Connie, is as long as I have my acumen, my faith, and I'm clear about what I want, this is an opportunity to pivot. And how many times we see it in scripture, we see it in our own lives, and we see it with the greats, right? Yep. When there is this thing that happens in our lives, right? That puts this chasm in our lives. And it really does create the proverbial fork in the road.
Yes.
Will you take the blue pill? Will you take the red pill? Come on, the Matrix. What are you going to do? And what she did was call you back to your power to decide. Connie, this is so. What will you do about it? And what that says to me is that my doing isn't done. Just because this happened doesn't, I feel that thing. Just because this happened, my doing isn't done. This happened. It is so. But it's the gratitude of what could possibly be behind the bend. What's in the future? And Connie, only you could decide that. You and God, but only you could decide that. You had the choice of despair, and I heard you say revenge, toxicity. You had the opportunity to be emboldened in bitterness.
Yes.
Yes, you could have been emboldened, because bitterness can embolden you.
Yep.
But also, courage can. And you know what else can? Forgiveness.
Absolutely.
Forgiveness can embolden you. Oh my God. Listen, we're at literally 5 seconds. Connie, give us a pearl of wisdom to hang about our necks, right? I'm a woman from the South and we like pearls. So give us a pearl of wisdom, Connie, that we can take in this season of gratitude, whether it's about business or life or faith. If you had to advise, and by the way, you're doing it now, advising the world's leaders about mindset and gratitude and what's next, what would you tell them?
One pearl of wisdom I have for you today, Charity, is put it in your routines. So gratitude for me, when I was in my worst space and I felt like I was losing everything, I had one ritual in my personal life and one ritual with my family. And that was to write down 10 things I was grateful for no matter what. And sometimes it was, I was grateful I was still breathing. The next thing I did is with my family. We did the same thing with my family. We're sitting around the dinner table and everything was falling apart. And we would say what we were grateful for about each other. And those routines and rituals carry us through the ups and the downs and the chaos of it all.
Listen, I'm going to add one thing to that. And here is why I love what you just said. Write it down. Habakkuk, you know, I'm a woman of scripture. Habakkuk 2 says, write the vision, make it plain, so those who read it can run with it. You have to have a vision of gratitude in order to have a life and a reality of gratitude. So you got to write it down. And then I love that you bring the family in. And not only do we write it down, but we say it. We say it. There is creative power in our words. We say what we see, and then we see what we say. And the reason you can see gratitude and abundance and joy and opportunity around you now, Connie, is because one, you always kept your vision of gratitude. Then you created your reality of gratitude. I love it.
You are wonderful.
That's a new one. Connie Benjamin, you are not only a gift to the world. You're not only a gift to the transformative leadership space. You're not only a gift to your family. You're not only a gift to the universe and to the creation that God has put here. You, my dear friend, are a gift and a blessing to me. Thank you again for joining me today. Listen, this is just the beginning. I invite you to go and check out Connie's work, and you can find her at...
I want to give you something. Can I give you something real quick?
Okay, 'tis the season. Go ahead.
'Tis the season. I want to give you one of the trainings that changed my life. So that training, This Is So Now What, from Dame Marcia Martin, I took it out of the vault and I'd like to give it to you. Just email me at connie@conniejbenjamin.com. And I'd love to share that gift with you today. I want you to be empowered in your own journey.
And don't forget that J, by the way, because that will, if you don't put the J in her name, you won't get to her. It's yes. Connie@conniejbenjamin.com. Had no idea you were going to do that. But again, I don't know why I'm surprised. You're just full of goodness. So thank you for that. Listen, leaders, this is just the beginning. I invite you to connect with this transformative leader. Today, I hosted her as my dear friend and as a person I want to have a conversation with. But let me tell you, do yourself and your business a good thing. Do yourself some real goodness and give yourself some real goodness, I should say, and contact her. The information that Connie can share with you about systems, processes, procedures, logistics, and just how to think about it all is absolutely invaluable. She is worth her weight in gold. You can tell her I said it, even though I'm saying it now. Make sure you contact her. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you again, my dear friend Connie, for joining me for this conversation in thankfulness and gratitude. And listen, there is more to come, and the best is yet to come for you. Thank you for joining me, and thank all of you for tuning in for this installment of Mogul Talk. More to come. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for watching. Connect with us on our fan page on Facebook, Master Your Morning with Ms. Mogul, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mogul Life TV. And visit our website, youcancreateyourown economy.com. and mommiescreatingeconomies.com.